Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to the Animorphs Reviews YouTube channel. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so I'm doing some easier videos really for me to sort out, and one of those is going to be this, which is the Animorphs book series characters tier list that I've just made. I'm going to be using pictures from the Top Trumps pack that I made, so while some of them may look completely obscure and random characters, I've got a list here of what each picture represents. So we've got 5 categories. We've got classic, entertaining, they existed, didn't like them, and erase from my memory. So without further ado, let's see where all the characters fit on this tier list for me personally. Okay, so first one is David. Where do I put David? I think he's in the top 2 somewhere. Classic is reserved basically for my absolute top notch. And as much as I think David was a good character and well used and brought about a lot of good character stuff, I don't think he's classic. I think he belongs quite firmly in the entertaining category. Euclid the Poodle. Entertaining. Yeah, again. Didn't feature very much, but I thought it was a good bit of fun. The buffalo human thing. Didn't like. Not erased from my memory, because that book did have its moments, but just the way it was killed off was rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And the whole Chapman thing sickened me a bit. Didn't like him. Naomi, Rachel's mother, the ultimate Karen of the series. They existed. That's basically the ones where I'm like, I don't dislike them, but nor do I really care about them. And Naomi, I think, falls into that category. The One, at the very end of the book. I appreciate what the One was used for, adding to the story. But can you call them entertaining? I've utilised the One quite a bit. It's just missing out on the entertaining bit. They existed. Right, the one that is Bill Gates here, that is, I believe, Joe Bob Fenestra. In fact, yeah, it is. Book 16. Visser 3's brother, Yerk. It was a good book. He didn't really do anything. I don't remember him anywhere near as much as I remember the underlying stuff from that book, so they existed. Tattoo and Grease from book 48. Entertaining. Liked them. Definitely not classic, but I did enjoy those two. And I've got Kevin and Perry as the fill-in pictures for them, and I think that's appropriate. And I love those characters, so that's how I remember them. Garoth, with his head cut off in this picture. Garoth was in Visser. He was a Council of 13 member. I really liked him. I wish we'd seen more of Garoth, because if he had, I think he would go into the classic. This Council of 13 member was pretty awesome. In fact, I'm tempted. He wasn't in it enough to be classic. I think he's definitely in the upper echelons. Cassie's father, Walter, entertaining. Not classic. He could have been if he was utilised more. Similar to Garoth. I don't think he's as good as Garoth, but he was definitely good. And he had an excellent chili. Lauren, didn't like. I certainly didn't like her in the Andalite Chronicles, and when she came back in the main book series, she wasn't really relevant at all. Nothing really happened with her. Didn't like. Oh, Champ. Is it? Yeah, it's definitely Champ. Who is the dog? Existed. Pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's Champ. Let me just make sure. I'm over in my Top Trumps pack over here. Yeah, Champ. Okay, so it is Champ. Don't really remember much of him. Existed. There we go. Who is this particular Andalite? There are a few Andalites. Let's go back into InDesign. It's not Essam. Ah, here we go. Aloth. Which one was Aloth? Aloth was... He was the really strong one. He was like the big... He was the assassin. He was the assassin. And I believe he was the one that got killed in the theatre-y bit. Judging by the fact that I've struggled to remember what he is, I can't put him in entertaining. They existed. I believe this is Jacob. I liked Jacob. Just got to make sure that it definitely is Jacob before I go marching on. It's not Menno. Yeah, it's Jacob. I liked Jacob. Wasn't classic, but I liked Jacob. The Hunter robots didn't... In fact, erase the Hunter robots from my memory. Because the book series basically did. So why shouldn't I? Erase that crap from my memory. Brought about in book 17. Just out of nowhere. Just get out of my head. Yumi's grandfather, who was never actually named, but I really liked him and found him quite entertaining, so he fits in there. Yumi. Is it Yumi or Yami? It's Yami. Yeah, they existed. Nowhere near as cool as his grandfather. The Helmicrons. And they were entertained for a while, and then they just became annoying. But I didn't dislike them, really. They existed. Aldria. Definitely entertaining. Ups and downs in terms of character, but overall, I think she was utilised well, especially when she was brought back in book 34. And just trying to decide how she feels at any given point is in itself fun and entertaining. So yeah, definitely up there. Classic? No, I wouldn't say classic. Elfangor. Infuriating in that as you probably know if you've watched this channel, I did not like the Andalite Chronicles, for which he was the main character.
Lame.
Don't call me lame. Being all cringe back there.
It was a really good book. It was a bad taste.
I didn't like it, I'm sorry. I didn't like it, but Elfangor himself, a lot of people would probably put him in classic. The rest of the people would probably put him in entertaining. I put him in they existed. I'm sorry. Crucify me. Write a bloody Twitter rant. The Inspector was only ever seen in a book that I want to erase from my memory, so suitably, let's just erase this thing from the memory. What a stupid bloody character. The Geds. They existed. Didn't really do anything, did they? This one is Menno. I believe this one's Menno. Are you making coffee?
No, I have to pee.
Ah, bollocks. Right, I'm trying to find... Was it? No, it wasn't there. Where was Elmis Chronicles? So it was near the end. I'm just searching through my tier list thing. Here, hold on, I'll bring it up for you so you can see what I'm going through here. Right, those are the end. Those are near the end. Right, so there's the Orf. It was... So that's book 41. So it'll be down here somewhere. Ah, so there's Aguela. Father, Menno. Menno was the Elamists' rival. They existed. Lyrans. I don't really like them. I don't know, there's something about them. I think the way they were utilised at times felt a bit underwhelming. So yeah, close to the they existed category, but no, I didn't really like the Lyrans. Just something about them. The Makora. The crab people. They existed. Whatever. The Nartek. Queen Soko. I quite liked that book, and I liked the idea of them. I actually did find them quite sort of bouncing between categories 2 and 3, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It was an entertaining book and an interesting new race to add in. So yeah, put them in entertaining. Nobody in classic yet, but I know who is. The Nesk, the big ant colony thing. Just like the Makora, they just sort of existed. The Orf, entertaining. Liked it. Loved that book. Like everything about it, and the Orf are no exception. Just, they stand for something. They're a metaphor for something. And I still don't know quite what it is, but that's what intrigues me. Visser 3. Where are we going to put you, Visser 3? Didn't like him. He's in near enough every book, and that's to his detriment. Thank you, my dear. I love Pebble.
He's got soot all through his bed.
He's got soot all through his... Our new cat, Tigger. He got covered in soot when he went into the chimney place in the front room, and he got covered in soot. Little sod. He's getting better, though. You'll probably see him at some point. In a month or two, he's still settling in, but day by day he's getting better, and we love him to bits. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah, Visser 3. Just could have been used better. And every time he showed up, it was just a big sigh, sort of exasperated sigh, like, oh, here he fucking is again. So yeah, I didn't really like him that much. I think he could have been so much better. Essam. A very curious character. Where's he in here? Just to make sure it is definitely him. Myrtle, Geffinan, that's it. So he's up here a bit. There he is. Essam 293. And I've got, what's his name again?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah. The Mummy, George in the Jungle. Thank you for my coffee, my dear. Yeah, I really like him as an actor. And I don't know why I chose him here, but I did. Just why not? But Essam he was intriguing. But I don't think we saw enough of him to really push him up to entertaining. If I'm putting Garoff in entertaining, he wasn't as interesting as Garoff, so I'm going to keep him in the They Existed pile. Derek the Badass Inuit, entertaining. There's a reason I call him the Badass Inuit. He was great. He was only in one book, but he made an impact. What's Siggy doing? Axe. Right, so the first of our main characters, Axe. Classic. I don't think his character arc deserves it. I think his character arc was a bit of a letdown overall. So I'll put him in entertaining for now, with the possibility that he gets bumped up to classic. Why have I got 2 Bill Gates? I think it's just something with the top trumps. I think that's a repeat. So again, it's Joe Bob for Nestor. Cassie, okay, Cassie, classic. I love Cassie. I love Cassie. Just how she goes from this Mary Sue-like character, and it's just almost like this weird inverse character arc, isn't it? She starts off as this sort of, everyone loves her, everyone thinks she's great, and slowly over as the series progresses, everyone starts to resent her more and more, even though she is the moral centre of the group, and she should be the one that everyone starts to like more. It's really weird, and I fucking love it, and she had some fantastic moments in the series. Definitely classic, I've got no question about that. Love it. Fluffer McKitty. It's just sort of a meme in the community, and for that, entertaining. Just Fluffer McKitty, you know. I might start calling Tiggles Fluffer.
Okay.
For that reason alone. Isaiah Fitzhenry, entertaining. Favourite book of the series, absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't go classic. Didn't do enough to earn the classic, but yeah, I really liked basically every character in that book. That book was fantastic. So, entertaining, definitely. I believe this is Eric. Let's go up here. Visser 3. Where is Eric? No, that's Eric. So who's this then? Who... Is it Ron? No, it's not Ronnie. It's not Ronnie Chambers. I'm trying to think who this is. Let's search through... Just before I forget. So that guy's going to be at Visa 4. Oh, Taylor, God's sake. Right, who's this blonde kid again? Underlights. Gonna be down here somewhere. Where are you? Ah, James, that's it. How could I forget? The Auxiliary Animorphs leader. Where am I? There I am. The leader of the Auxiliary Animorphs had one of the worst Deus Ex Machinas in the whole series. That's mostly what I know him for. Did have his good moments, but also frustrating moments. They existed. Right, now, here we go. Subvis 51, I believe. Taylor. Worst character in the series. Probably even worse than the Inspector, because the Inspector, for as much as it was crap and was only in for one book, and that book itself was worthy of memory erasure, Taylor was just egregious in every sense. I hated that character. Just so on the nose, tropey, irritating, obnoxious. Just get rid of her. Awful character. God. Cryak. Again, we've got another repeat of Cryak here, so I'll move that down to the bottom. Cryak. The all-seeing eye. The Eye of Sauron. Yeah. Plagiarism? Nah. Close! What? They existed. I don't know, I never really bought into the whole Cryak thing. Mortrons. Existed. Right, that one is Gonrod. So this Andalite here, if we zoom through this, we will find, indubitably, that it is Gonrod Isful Sonili, the leader of that little group of Andalites that came down to Earth. Existed. Estrid, on the other hand, I think was quite entertaining. Girlfriend for Axe. Quite likeable. Although her character arc through the latter half of that book was questionable. I still have fond memories of Estrid. And... oh, is that Gaffinalan? It must be Gaffinalan. Nope. It's Myrtle, I believe. Yeah, Myrtle. So, Myrtle was the Vicol. Of course, on this picture, the tail is there. But in the top trump's pack, you don't see the tail, so I thought I'd get away with it. I didn't find any pictures of Andalites without tails, I don't think. At least ones that I could use. Myrtle. Hardly saw anything of him until like the very end of the book. He's just sort of a thing that they talk about. They existed. Hork-Bajir controllers. There are a few weird things that go on with the Hork-Bajir controllers, because oftentimes they talk like your normal Hork-Bajir, and then sometimes they talk like they're really smart, and it's never really explained why. But on the whole, I mean, they're just there. They're just shock troops. They do literally just exist. That's their purpose, really. So, yeah, they stay in that category. Right, is this Alfangor again? Yeah, it is. So, he goes away. There are a few repeats. I just bulk added these pictures, and sometimes I had multiple pictures for characters. Right, is this... that's not Captain Torelli. That is... it's one of the... guys near the end. It's Captain Olsen. Captain Olsen. You've also got General Doubleday. So Olsen was the guy. He was the guy at the where they got the bomb for the train, and he spoke to them and eventually helped them out. But yeah, he just existed. Yeah, that's his role. Right, who did I have as this Hork-Bajir? I think this is Jarahami. We'll have this guy down as Jarahami. Entertaining. Love Jarahami. I wouldn't say he's classic, but he's definitely there. Definitely in the entertaining category. And by extension, Ket Halpak as well, because they all sort of form a pair, don't they? Jarhammy a bit more is used more than Ket Halpak, so he would be a bit higher. Dak Hammy. Close to... Oh. It's between classic and entertaining. He had some brilliant quotes in the Hork-Bajir Chronicles. And out of all those three characters, probably one of the more entertaining arcs. Where do I put Dak? If he was brought back once again, he would probably fall into classic. But he's going to go into entertaining. The Howlers. Very interesting. I like the Howlers. And they go into the entertaining category, as one would expect. Tom Berenson. He's a device for Jake. The whole subplot of Jake wondering whether he can save him or whether he should kill him, and then in the end when he does kill him, I think he is an entertaining character. The stuff that happens around him and the interaction with Jake is what makes Tom entertaining, so he goes into that category. Chapman. Didn't like. I liked him in book 2, and then the show just ruined him. The show? Well, yeah, the show ruined everything, but the books ruined Chapman's character. Close, actually, to erase from my memory. I would rather just say Chapman didn't exist. Just fill him in with other people. Like random subvisors or whatever, because they just ruined Chapman. So does he go and didn't like or erase from memory? I don't want to erase from memory, because if it was just book 2 for Chapman, he'd be up here, but then they just proceeded to ruin him. Didn't like latter post book 2 Chapman, erased from my memory, but because of book 2, up to the didn't like them column. Guide. And by extension, the other escort. They existed. This one is Aloth. No, Arbat, the traitor, the bastard. The one who was naughty. The scoundrel, the rapscallion. The turnip-faced clunge bucket. Existed. Jake, classic. No question. Favourite character. His character arc is probably my favourite in all of fiction. And just every time he's involved with something, it turns to gold. Even if he's not directly making it the gold, it's how everyone else reacts around him. It's just everything about Jake is brilliant. Love it. Easy classic. Lower David Altman. Entertaining. And you wonder why I've got the picture of Jim Jones, who was the... you remember Jonestown? Where essentially it was this weird... It's always a very interesting story for me, the whole cult leader thing. He was this religious icon. And then he decided that he wanted to make this sort of communist utopia in French Guyana called Jonestown. Because he thought that, funnily enough, it's much like modern day stuff. They thought, with African Americans, he said, oh, we're all oppressed and America doesn't care about this. So he went and formed his own nation, sort of, is this communist utopia. And like any such utopia, it turned to shit very quickly. And for that, the leader of the sharing, I got that sort of feel from it, and I found that entertaining. Not classic, of course, but entertaining nonetheless. Father, from the Ellimist Chronicles. Interesting concept. Pushes him up to entertaining category, just about. I've already got Lauren, so put her away. Tobias. I didn't find him entertaining. I found him a bit dull. I couldn't relate to him. I can't relate to Tobias. Did I dislike Tobias? Sometimes. But I didn't outright dislike him. He goes in the they existed category. Ah, no, who's this guy? I think that's General Doubleday. Yep, it is. So the guy whose platoon was just like fried on the battlefield. I think he died. Or he would have gotten some major injuries. Something about him. No, just he existed. Peter, Marco's father. I like some of the interactions he has. I actually quite like him in the TV show as well. He was one of the only saving graces of the TV show. But this is the book series, so TV show, go away. Be gone with you. In the books, I still quite... things that happen with him were genuinely or generally, both, quite entertaining. Marco, entertaining. I think his character arc faltered at the end, which is why I don't think he's classic. But for the most part, Marco was fun. Melissa Chapman, they existed. I mean, good stuff in book 2, but after that, just didn't really play into anything ever again. And though I liked book 2, her character was essentially a plot device for Rachel. So yeah, existed. Who's this guy? Is that Visa? No, that's... Who's this handsome chap? Let's zoom through this. We need to remember that that's Visa 2. Who's the suave-looking fellow? William Roger Tennant, the hippie man with the lava lamps. He's got excellent book throwing abilities. It's just something about him. It was quite fun. It was the proposal for. I gave it like a 6 out of 10, but it had some cracking moments in it. No, 35. Sorry. I've got a soft spot for the proposal and the characters in it. So yeah, he goes in entertaining. Visser 4 from Megamorphs 3. He doesn't do much. That book was brilliant, but more for what the Animorphs are doing. He was just the guy they were chasing. But by extension, I thought he was entertaining by the things that he brought about in that book. Rachel. Right. If book 48 didn't happen, it would be down. She would be down here. But that book almost brought around her character arc again, and I think she's high entertaining. I'm going to put her up next to David up here, and Marco as well. He goes up there somewhere. Rachel's close to classic. If it wasn't for that dip in her character arc in the middle of the series and towards the end, she would have been brilliant, but they just didn't know what to do with her character for the longest time, until they did again and brought her back from the brink. Ronnie Chambers only really appeared at the end. Cassie's boyfriend, they existed. Super Rachel. Okay. Definitely not classic, but I really liked that book and the concepts within, including the Super Rachel concept, which is probably not a popular stance, but it's mine, so make of that what you will. Entertaining. I think this is Gaffinalan. Who's that? That's not an Andalite. Yep, Gaffinalan. He was a baddie that they were determined to make a goodie. And for that reason, I didn't really like him. He was willing to sell out the Animorphs, and the Animorphs were like, oh, it's all right, we'll help you anyway. Sod off. No. Bollocks to him. Sod off, Gaffinalan. You twerp. That fucking showed you, didn't it? Right. So this is Arbron. Taxon Nofflet. He existed. Taxon controllers, much like the Hawkbajay controllers, they were there to just fill out the numbers, really. So they existed. Toby Hammy. Definitely in one of the top 2 categories. wasn't utilised as much as she should be. So she falls into the entertain category, but somewhere up here. I don't know why I'm ordering some of them and not the others. I just want some certain characters deserve to be close to the classic box, and she's sort of around here. Great character. I just wish she was utilised more. The Elemist. I really don't know. Oh, what are we going to do with you? The Elemist Chronicles was a very entertaining book. But apart from that, it was largely this weird plot device to get the Animorphs to different places. I'm going to put him in entertaining, mostly for what happens in the Elemist Chronicles. Captain Torelli. Entertaining. Book 14. Just this, him on the log flume, it was brilliant. And, what characters did the Animorphs pretend to be in his office? He played a fun role in that book. I really liked him. Is this Aguela, the female Ketron? Existed. Oh, there is a picture of Gryffindor and Myrtle. I think they were too close together. You can see he hasn't got a tail there, so that's another multiple. So we haven't got many left. Eric, you bastard. We were going to get to you eventually, weren't we? You know that I don't like Eric. But I don't like him in the personal sense. Not the, this is an interesting character sense. I actually find the whole deceptive chi idea thing pretty fun to go over. So yeah, Eric, well done. You're in the entertaining category. Visser 2. Didn't like. Book 46, it had its problems, and Visser 2 was one of them. Visser 1. Edris. Eva. Entertaining. Especially for the stuff in Visser Chronicles, the serial killer with a heart. It's a very entertaining story. The Governor. Erased from my memory. The California governor, who's like swinging off of bridges no, shut up. Freaking awful book, awful character. Just get out of here. The Drode existed, and that's it. And my microphone's about to run out of power, so I better finish this up quickly. There it is. I've only got 2 in the classic box. If I were to move another into the classic box, who would it be? Sorry, Tattoo in Greece. I love you, but you wouldn't be there. It'd be one of this lot. Maybe not Euclid. You can go there. Derek, maybe. Yumi's grandfather, he was awesome, but they just weren't in it enough. Aldria, perhaps. It'd be someone on this top line here. But as of now, my classics are Jake and Cassie. Love those characters to bits. Awesome stuff. And these 4 at the bottom here, just get rid. Just get rid. Away with you. Poor little Tobias here. All the other main cast are up here. In classic, close to classic, and then Tobias he just existed to me. He was just there. He was a narky little git. Don't share your secrets with Tobias. The whole world will know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my character tier lists. I hope you've enjoyed it. And share me your opinions. Who would you put in the classic category? That's what I want you to tell me. And also, who would you erase from your memory? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra!